Hey, Honors Lit. This is Mrs. H. Going to try to help you out with the analogies for the review test, 13 through 15. Just those first 18 I'm going to help you with. And then I was looking at this, and the shades of meaning are not really that challenging, except for maybe number 4 on 117. You're going to want to make sure that you look through that one or think through that one. Otherwise, they're pretty, I don't want to say obvious, but I think they're pretty easy to get. So, looking through these analogies, they also seem pretty easy, I think. You'll see. So number 1, moon is to wane. The moon waxes and wanes. All right, gets bigger and smaller. So when it waxes, it gets bigger. When it wanes, it gets smaller. All right, it's an action object. The moon is the object, and wane is the action. Okay. Number 2, we have a characteristic quality. An open hand means it's liberal, giving liberally. All right. So it's kind of a characteristic quality of an open hand. It means generous. All right. Number 3, vindicate and exonerate. Those are both, they both mean the same thing. So that relationship is synonymous. Okay. Number 4, a prelude is to opera. That's a part of a whole. Part of the opera is a prelude, where they kind of, the orchestra might play part of all the songs that they're going to end up playing. All right, that's kind of the prelude to it. Okay. Number 5, shackle is to slave. This is something. They're both nouns. I guess the best way would be of describing it is something that a slave would wear. All right, something that you would see on a slave. All right, use that same template. I would see a shackle on a slave. I would see a blank on a blank. Okay. Number 6, sever is to apart. So here's my template. I would say if I sever a relationship, I tear it apart. Okay. If I sever, I cause it to be a part. 2 separate parts. It's a part. So if I sever a relationship, the 2 people in the relationship are apart. Okay. Use that same idea and you'll find the answer. Number 7, a combatant is part of a war. So we have a performer object. A combatant fights in a war or participates in a war. Okay. So the second word participates in the first word. Okay. And that you'll get your answer. Untenable is to hold. Those are it's a opposite sort of thing. Untenable is not to hold something back. Okay. They're kind of opposite in idea. Okay. An untenable object will not hold back. Okay, use that template and you'll find your answer. And number 9, a bore is rude. This is a characteristic quality. Okay, so use your the template. A bore, a person who's we would call a bore, they're rude. Okay. All right, number 10, same thing here, but the second word first. A ghost can be described as has a as a pallor. All right. So it's a adjective to describe that ghost, or a condition to describe that ghost. Okay. So the first word describes kind of the second word. Okay. Number 11. Now, this sorted here, this is one where you're thinking about connotation. Is sorted favorable or unfavorable? All right. So sorted is to unfavorable. That would be true. So we're looking for another where the first word, the connotations, match up with favorable or unfavorable. Okay. Number 12. Rancid is to butter. Now, rancid, this is where it's rotten. All right, it's gone bad. So rancid butter is you can't use the butter then. Have you ever tasted a rancid nut? I had this one dish that my brother's mother-in-law made, and I loved everything in it, but then I got a hold of a rancid nut in it, and it's like, the whole thing was just gross. I can't remember what it must have been a pecan or something. It was so nasty. Anyway, so you can't consume rancid butter. Okay. All right. And number 13, here we have a characteristic quality. A skyscraper is lofty, high up, kind of up in the clouds. Okay. So that's a word, an adjective to describe the first word. Okay. So annex, or annex is to create more space, right? So an annex creates more. Okay. Think about, you'll come up with it. All right. So protract is to duration. Protract, you lengthen the duration of something. Okay. Make it longer. And so you need to think about how it, the effect, to protract the duration, what effect that would cause. All right. And then you would find your answer. Okay. Let's see here. 16. We have characteristic quality because we have an adjective and a noun. Threadbare is to a suit. All right. If the person has worn the suit for years and years and years, then it might be threadbare. Okay. So keep that in mind. All right. And then you'll find your match easily. 17. Legion means, or there are many that form a legion. A legion is a collective noun, and many combatants or many demons, many people are part of a legion of something. Okay. There's the veterans have they have different posts, and sometimes they're the legion. They're a legion of veterans. So, but it's many of them that get together. Okay? And then number 18. Dormant is to volcano. Once again, we have a characteristic quality. A lot of volcanoes around here are dormant. They're not active anymore. Okay? So, they're not producing. All right? Keep that in mind to help you find your answer. All right? I hope this helps you out. And like I said, I think the only one on shades of meaning. Oh, here's another section for shades of meaning. That one is easy. No, really the only one is on that 117 is number 4. I think the other ones you'll not really have a problem with. All right. Anyway, this is due next Tuesday, and have a good rest of your evening.